Yo, my name is Andy. If you're just finding the channel, it's nice to meet you. Just a little something about me. I can tend to be pretty hyperfixated on my goals, and I tend to decline a lot of things that don't move me forward, whether that be through my football career, my YouTube channel, my filmmaking. I'm very quick to say no to anything that doesn't align with that. But this month, since I turned 20, I started saying yes to things that I wouldn't usually say yes to. And genuinely, it's given me such a new perspective of life that I think is worth sharing in this video. So to talk briefly about the old version of myself, I would say I was someone who was really good at building a future life for myself, but not very good at living the current one that I was in. And what this looked like on paper is a hyper-productive person. Someone who's always focused on work, who's always being productive and moving forward, who never goes out, who never has spontaneity in their life, who never socializes outside of networking opportunities and time on set or at the boxing gym. And I guess I had a realization up until this point that though I did feel productive, I felt like I was missing out on a lot of experiences that are fundamental to having a well-rounded life. Things that I used to turn my nose up at and think were completely stupid to do. I could just see them passing me by. Now, I was literally sat behind me, back there in the corner. I was thinking to myself, man, I really have no friends. And I say that in a jokey way, but obviously I have friends. But growing up, I was someone who was connected to multiple social groups and social settings. I could be chilling with my boys one day, chilling with my oldest the other day. And I really valued the fact that I was able to navigate different spaces with different people. Now, I know some people hold friendships in different regards and really care about how closely they're bonded with people, but I always thought of myself as somewhat of a free spirit. I just like being around communities and bringing people together, connecting people. That was kind of what I prided myself on. And obviously this happened at the end of April, beginning of May, and my birthday's in May. Shout out my Taurus gang. And I felt like that'd be a good opportunity to kind of get out there and to do things that I wouldn't usually do, since it was the birthday month. I was always going to take it easier, but I thought, why not just do all these other things that I haven't done in that month? Doesn't that just make sense? It makes sense, doesn't it? So I looked at my itinerary for the month, realized I had absolutely nothing. I downloaded Eventbrite and a couple other ticket apps. I started off the month very coolly, went to see my boy in Knots, and by the end of the month, and after a couple nights out, I was on a roof celebrating the Arsenal parade. So, I mean, it was a pretty good month. We made a lot of experiences, and I made a lot of connections with people that I just never would have met if I didn't put myself in those uncomfortable, unscripted environments. And genuinely looking back, this has probably been one of the greatest months of my life for just law and general core memories with the boys. And it's something I realized I was missing out on for such a long period of my life, because I was hyper obsessed with being super focused and super disciplined. And I had drank a lot of that productivity Kool-Aid that a lot of us young people drank on the internet. And yeah, it was kind of nice to get away from that scripted reality and to live something a bit more spontaneous. Alright, so let me be real for a second, because this isn't all just sunflowers and rainbows. In my head, one of the biggest things that I thought would happen if I start to live a lifestyle like this was that I'd fall behind. I'd become less productive, I'd lose sight of my goals and the visions that I wanted for myself. And generally I'd just become a bum. And I was really scared of being a bum, you know. I grew up around a lot of people who ended up being bums. No shade, but I was really scared of that. I don't want to be like them. I want to be different. And I saw them doing all these things when they were growing up. So I instinctively thought, you know, if I get involved in that sort of lifestyle, I'm going to be a bum. and I didn't want to be a bum. So a lot of the things that were stopping me from living that other side of life was just fear of turning into something that I didn't want to be. And the other side of it, once again, I alluded to it earlier, but consuming all this content on social media about productivity, success, entrepreneurship had me in the mindset that like successful people grind 24/7. And when I say 24/7, I mean 24/7. There isn't one moment in the day that isn't calendared, that isn't checked in, that doesn't go towards something productive. And even if you have some fun, maybe you go on a nice hike or a bike ride, what is that hike or that bike ride doing for the body? It's you exercising, you know. So all these things, they have something productive to be extracted out of them, you know. And I was big on that. I wouldn't go to places because I was like, bro, what can I get out of this? So a lot of it was to do with what I'd seen on the internet and what I valued and I saw was a productive thing to do, a productive way to use my time. There are some negatives to the past month that I had. Number one was less sleep. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I usually don't sleep a lot as it is, because I was one of those, and still am, one of those 6 a.m., 5 a.m. demons, you know what I'm saying? To wake up and go on that run at 5 in the morning. That was me. It's still me. But when you're coming back from somewhere at 4 in the morning, there's no way you're waking up at 6, doggy. Number two, less consistency. I go on about it because there's a couple things in my life that I'm really, really consistent about, and that's my language learning, that's my reading, that's my martial arts training, and sorry, I was gonna say content creation, but I think God intercepted on that one because that's not true. That's not true. But those are the things I'm consistent with, and my filmmaking. And I realized across the board, everything just dropped off, like completely. I'm not proud of it, but you know, we're getting back into the consistency and the habits of these things. And just generally, I'd say number three is that I just felt a lot more scattered. Like I'd found myself going about my day thinking like, man, I've got all these things to do. And then on the same hand, like I have people messaging me like, yo, you trying to step to this thing tonight? You trying to go here? You trying to go there? And I'm like, man, I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I felt all over the place. My mind, I constantly just, and because like you're doing stuff you wouldn't usually do, a lot of the experiences you have sit heavier on your conscious, so they'll just keep replaying in your mind. So whilst you're having conversations with people, you're just reimagining. I'm not gonna get into the details, but you're just reimagining things in your head, and you can't focus. So yeah, I just generally felt like really scattered, and it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling at all. And now, if we move on to the positives, I'm just gonna reel them off because I think I'll be able to summarize them pretty well. But I had new friendships, better stories, more confidence, more understanding of people, more inspiration, and more life experience. Does that not sound good to you? That sounds good. That sounds pretty good. Everything kind of goes hand in hand with the people and the connections that you make. I think it's so important to see life from different perspectives and to make new friends, because bro, there's bare man on the earth, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I kind of yelled there, but there's bare people on the earth, and there's so many unique perspectives that you could just learn from other people. People are so interesting. A lot of us close ourselves off to that idea, and maybe we think we know too much, or we just don't want to hear from certain people because we think the way they live their life is inferior to the way we live our lives. And you're blocking yourself away from learning so much about them and yourself. I say confidence for me was a big thing, because once again, when I was sat back there, deep in my life, and how depleted my social life was, I had noticed that there was a level of confidence I thought I didn't have. Like I thought I wasn't capable. I wasn't this person who could go out there and make friends, because the whole time I'd been in London up to this point, mind you, I was on some work shit. you know what I mean? So I'd never given myself time in the city to really connect and explore with people. All my friends and collaborators were people I'm doing projects with, which I still value, man. But just outside of that, I hadn't really given myself the opportunity to make those friendships. And for me to say like, yo, this month I'm gonna go and make friends, and then by the end of the month I've got bare numbers of people that I can call up and just talk to, and people that can have a good time, but are also on some focused stuff, because I'm pretty selective, and I think everyone should be pretty selective with who they befriend. I was just, yeah, it was good. It was good for the confidence booster. And I think the final three about more inspiration, better stories, better experiences. For me as a filmmaker, this is like hugely important, because the whole thing I'm doing is telling stories, you know. And in telling stories, you want to be able to write and to relate to people. And even when you're cultivating images as a DP, there's certain things you will only understand if you've been in certain environments, certain nuances about how things are set up, what people do in these environments, you know. And once again, that was something that I just was so foreign to. So now being the person I am, and having all these new experiences, and yeah, all these crazy stories that are quite unbelievable, yeah, having all of these and making them in such a short period of time, I think is hugely valuable. And once again, I don't think it's something I could have planned my way into, because yeah, if I'd been too controlling, I would never have allowed certain situations to happen the way they unfolded, and I would have missed out on so many beautiful and also unique experiences. I'm so sorry I can't go into detail. I'll probably like start a Patreon or something. I'm not gonna do that. But going through this period, I think there was a huge realization I made. I think the biggest thing is that I felt like I was treating life like something that could only begin once I was successful. And let me break this down for you. That was, as you can tell, there's certain experiences that I thought I could only enjoy once I was this far in my career. I was making this much money or had this much notoriety. And that's just not necessarily true. Because I know me. I know how disciplined I am. I know how hardworking I am. I also know that there's nothing stopping me from getting to my goals but myself. So if that's the case, then enjoying life shouldn't threaten my future success or trajectory, because I know that I'm fully capable of doing the thing. And not to say I'm going to make a habit of all these things, because I'm most definitely not. It's unsustainable. But I do think there's something to be said for the amount a lot of us, especially a lot of us who are kind of obsessed with the idea of being like mega successful, there's definitely something to be said for the amount of life we let ourselves live. And if you're just talking just purely from an egotistical, ethnocentric standpoint, but there's a lot of lore that you're missing out on. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of lore. There's a lot of stories that your parents have that you just don't have, because you're trying to live this super mundane, fucking regimented life. And once again, I'm probably projecting, because I don't know, it's probably only me living a life like that before. But yeah, it's just honest. It's honest, something I realized about myself, and I just assume there's people out there that are like me to an extent. So yeah, there's a lot that you're kind of missing out on. I want to leave you on this, because I feel like I've been yapping, and this video may seem a bit aimless at times. Generally, what the month has taught me is that saying yes to things isn't the answer. You shouldn't just say yes to everything because the negatives I mentioned. But also saying no to everything isn't the answer either. A real life, a sustainable life, a well-rounded and valuable life is somewhere in the middle. Somewhere where you can allow spontaneous new experiences to happen, but where you also have the structure and the routine of your old life. And I'll be honest, I'm still trying to figure out where this middle is. I have no idea where it is. I'm just telling you all I know. If anyone else has figured out the balance, drop it in the comments, please. People, start commenting. Help me out. This is a place for all of us to learn. If you enjoyed that video, and you enjoyed hearing me yap about things in vague details, but also giving you some pretty cool insights, like the video, subscribe to the channel, Share the video if you think it could help someone else out, or if you just want to make fun of me and share it to your pals, do that too. I appreciate you for watching. Peace.